Have you ever seen a magic show? Have you ever noticed that the magicians usually wear black? I wonder why. Black is mysterious, and maybe it's evil. But you know, Jesus said,
I am the light of the world.
And light is white. I think I'd be better off if I was dressed in white. That's much better because the good guys always wear white, right? Okay, now that I'm dressed in white, I can be a magician. Let's go back to the first verse of the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, God just spoke it into existence. This is just a trick. I needed a camera, I needed a computer, I needed photographs, I needed video clips, I needed a whole bunch of stuff to do this. When God created the earth, He only spoke the words, and it happened. That's just a magic trick.
The Bible tells us that God created man and animals, and each one was supposed to have babies after their own kind. That means that a bear would have a bear baby, a gorilla would have a gorilla baby, and people would have people babies. Now there are some in the world that are going to tell you that man came from an ape or a monkey or a gorilla. It's just not true. The Bible is very clear that we are to have babies just like us. I wouldn't want to come from a gorilla, would you?
Oh, you've got to be kidding. If that happened to me, I would be all broken up about that. You know, the Bible even tells us that God controls the weather. You know, the sun and the moon, of course, clouds, rain, thunder, and lightning.
No, I'm dissolving! Do you know that there were giants talked about in the Bible? Remember that David killed Goliath? Goliath was a giant, 9 or 10 feet tall, much taller than people today. And there were also the giants in Canaan. Do you remember when the spies went into Canaan and they came back and they told Moses, there are giants in the land? Well, there really were.
Now here's a silly trick. Pulling a pencil out of your head is not something that you should try at home. But in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 16, it tells us that John saw a vision of Jesus Christ, and out of his mouth came a two-edged sword. Now, the sword is a symbol. It's a symbol of the Word of God. When Jesus speaks, He's speaking the Word of God, and the sword is a symbol.
So, what's a symbol? If you look at this picture, you know what that is. That's a symbol of McDonald's restaurants. And everybody in the world knows what that symbol means. The next symbol is a little bit tougher. It's an apple with a bite out of it. It's the symbol of Apple Computer. And the next one you know also because it's got the words written on it. But it's the symbol for Domino's Pizza. Just as the two-edged sword is a symbol for the Word of God. And what is the Word of God? Why, it's the Bible. Now, just before that in the book of Revelation, it also talks about fire coming out of his eyes.
Okay, now that is really spooky.
Suppose I did a magic trick where I started to shine. You know, in the book of Matthew, chapter 17, Jesus went up to the mountain with Peter, James, and John. And they saw him transfigured. That means he changed. His face was glowing, and his clothes became white as light, just as he is now in heaven. In the book of John, chapter 20, verse 19, after Jesus was crucified, died, buried, and resurrected, the apostles one evening were gathered in a room, and the door was locked. Suddenly Jesus appeared to them. Remember, the door was locked, so Jesus either had to suddenly appear out of thin air, or he had to walk through the wall. Now let's see if I can do some magic tricks that do both of those. Appearing out of thin air is easy. I said appearing out of thin air is easy. Snap, appearing out of thin air is easy. That's better. Wait, come back. Oh, okay. Whew. There you go. See, I told you it was easy.
Yeah, right.
Now, walking through walls, that's a little harder to do. But let's see if we can do it. Okay, little walking through the wall trick, yeah. Okay. Whoa! Cool! Hey! Wow! I think I'm stuck. Can somebody get me out of this? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Wait, I think I got it.